Yo, what up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. And in this one I wanted to share my PC experience with you guys because I just saw a video by J-Boy and the Man, and basically at this point right now, he pretty much inspired me to make this video because he was talking about his experience with Black Ops Cold War and how it is absolutely disappointing, especially since he's on PC and all that kind of stuff. And I recently transitioned to PC just a little over 2 months ago, or about 2 months ago or so. I basically lost track at this time because I'm just having too much fun, and I can say that I am a PC gamer. And I also wanted to tell you that the footage you're seeing is very mediocre, unused Black Ops 2 footage, so I apologize about that, but I'm just using leftover footage to give you guys something in the background while you listen to the commentary, because quite frankly, my PC rig, thanks to my best friend that I'm using, is so old and dated and weak that I can't stream and or record while playing. So, and for those of you guys that are curious just how weak it is, well, I will tell you the specs right now. First and foremost, the graphics card that I'm using is a GeForce 970. So that's dated. It's the system itself is an Intel Core i5 4690K CPU, 3.50 gigahertz, and with 16 gigabytes of RAM. So it's a very weak rig, and I'm pretty sure it's weaker than JB's. So JB, if you're watching this, if there's a 1 in a million chance you're watching this, I feel your pain when you say that Black Ops Cold War is dropping at 40 frames per second. And with his rig, with your rig, it shouldn't even be doing that. And that's the game's fault. It's certainly not your fault. And by the way, I am debating on whether or not on building my PC either at the end of spring break, sometime around at the end of March, at the end of April, or slightly later than that, or maybe around August after the season where my work ends. So that way I just want to basically save as much money as possible right now and make my savings account a little bit more fluffy before investing a couple $1,000s, if not more, into the rig that I want. And what I'm thinking about getting is a 3080 build, and I might as well make the investment because I'm absolutely loving my experience on PC, even on this dated rig, which thanks to my best friend, or else I wouldn't be experiencing this. And Sixshot and even Difo himself tried to persuade me to change to PC like a couple of years prior or something like that, and for many reasons I basically never really wanted to do that because I had always been a console player, and at the same time, and I made a video about this as well, I was very intimidated by learning mouse and keyboard. And at the same time, I had this misconception that everybody that played on PC was a master mouse and keyboard user, and I can assure you that is not the case. I've gotten to the point right now, because I've been doing this for a couple months now, and I followed the golden rule. And the golden rule is do not plug in a controller, or do not go back to console once you started to play on mouse and keyboard, because you're only going to be, making the transition more difficult, and you're going to be holding yourself back, and it's going to take longer for you to get used to it and to learn how to do it, muscle memory and all that kind of stuff. So I followed that rule to a T. The only time I went back to console wasn't even with controller. It was basically to see something on Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare. I actually plugged in my mouse and keyboard that I ended up getting from Amazon, which is not the most expensive one either. It's actually a very, very cheap one, especially now that I'm learning how to do this. But honestly, it's whatever works for you and whatever's more comfortable, if anything, and I can assure you that when I went and plugged in my mouse and keyboard to play Cold War, because I didn't feel like buying the game again on PC, because I already had it on Xbox, when I plugged it in, it looked like the game was dropping frames. And this was after I had already played a few other games on PC that were like free-to-play games that I enjoyed playing, that were running at a smooth 60 frames per second on low settings, because that's all I can run with this rig that I've got after I told you all these specs. So some of you guys might actually tell me that it's a miracle that those games can run, but they can. So we're talking games like Iron Sight, Paladins, Quake Champions, low settings, anti-aliasing disabled, and ray tracing disabled, and all that kind of stuff. And basically I'm able to run those games at a smooth 60 frames per second. And after I went back, because I wanted to play Call of Duty on mouse and keyboard, but I didn't want to buy the game again, I did it on console, and I could tell you it looked like the game was dropping frames. And then I went and did it with PlayStation in Modern Warfare, and guess what? It was the same thing. And you guys know that Modern Warfare on console as well as on PC, it runs better than Black Ops Cold War. Black Ops Cold War is unfinished, to put it nicely. The only thing that Black Ops Cold War has over Modern Warfare is the fact that the game doesn't punish you for rushing, but it does punish you in different ways that Modern Warfare, believe it or not, does not. So from a performance standpoint, Modern Warfare absolutely beats the shit out of Black Ops Cold War in almost every single way, if not every single way. But in terms of gameplay design, well, obviously Black Ops Cold War is a lot more friendly to the rusher, which is the only reason why I still prefer Black Ops Cold War over Modern Warfare. And again, it would still take me a lot of convincing for me to buy Modern Warfare on PC. Not necessarily because I'm worried about the $60, but because of the fact that, well, I'm afraid that I'm going to be wasting my time because I'd be bored with the game, because it just does not, even though it's on PC and with the FOV, it seems faster paced, and with the enjoyment of mouse and keyboard that I'm having now, it just doesn't make sense if I'm running and I'm getting, I have to stop in order to crouch walk, or can't move until I unlock dead silence and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, the thing is this: please do not be intimidated by learning PC and or learning mouse and keyboard. Basically, do not be intimidated. And on top of that, I am a perfect example, because I am not just because I'm 36 and I've been playing consoles pretty much all my life, other than that one brief time when I was 12 years old when I went to my best friend's house and his dad had a PC, and we played Star Wars Dark Forces, which was a first-person shooter game, as well as some Terminal Velocity, which was a space combat game. So other than that, until a couple months ago or so, I never ever touched PC, and I'm 36 years old, and I have managed to make that transition. I just followed that golden rule: do not go back to controller, at least until you learn how to play mouse and keyboard. But once you do, it's highly unlikely that you will, because I can tell you, the amount of control that you have on mouse and keyboard, and of course without the aim assist, is incredible. And aim assist, believe it or not, one way or another, it's actually a handicap. I know that a lot of console players are not going to want to hear that, but it's absolutely true. It is a handicap. It is actually holding you back, as opposed to letting you unlock your potential. But PC, on the other hand, because of the way you can set your key bindings to however you want, any button and any key can be whatever you want that key to be, and as well as the mouse and everything like that, the combination of those two things, once you get used to them, is absolutely rewarding. And when you finally make that transition to where you're getting used to it and you're starting to get better day by day, like I am getting better day by day. I've played Titanfall 2, I've played Paladins, I've played Overwatch, I've played Black Ops Cold War, I've played a handful of other games, mainly first-person shooters, obviously. And I even played Battlefront 2 as well. And I could tell you, like with Titanfall 2, I mean, everything. I mean, recently one of my followers over on Twitter, as well as on here, also recommended Titanfall 2, and I'd given it a shot, but I was like, I don't know, too sweaty, too this, too that. And I'm like, I just told myself, Jack, quit your bitching and just try the game again and give it a legit shot. And the next thing you know, I'm hooked. And the fact that it's mouse and keyboard makes the game a lot more fun than it was when I played it on console. And realistically speaking, from the very beginning in the invention, when first-person shooters were first designed and first put out there into the world, they were basically designed for PC. It's simple as that, really. It's a fact. They were designed for PC, and I can tell you, when you play a first-person shooter on PC, you're playing it like from the source, the way it's meant to be played, and the way it was meant to be designed, because it's been changed and altered to fit the needs and standards of console or whatnot. Because with PC, I mean, this is one of the many reasons as to why PCs will always be more ahead of console. It's simple as that. And I always knew this even back when I was playing on console, and when Difo was trying to convince me to play on PC, or even when my best friend was trying to subtly do the same thing. I knew they were right in terms of what a PC is capable of compared to console, but I didn't experience it. It's kind of like describing your favorite food to somebody, or something that tastes good, but you can describe it as best you can, but unless that person experiences it, they'll never truly know. And once I finally got to experience it, and once I made it through, and I'm still learning to this day, obviously, and getting used to a couple of other keys that I'm not used to pressing as often, but it's happening day by day. I'm getting better, and I could tell you it is absolutely rewarding, and it makes games a lot more fun to play. Games that I had already played on console are actually more fun to play on PC. Kid you not. Titanfall 2, more fun on PC. Quake Champions, obviously, is only a PC game. I enjoy that game from time to time. Paladins, I've played both on console and on PC. Overwatch, both. I could tell you it is so much more satisfying on PC. So please do not be intimidated to switch to PC if you have the means to do so. And again, you don't have to get the most powerful rig. You could just start off slow, and then bit by bit, piece by piece, you can slowly upgrade the rig to fit your budget and specifications for what you specifically want. And that's another thing about PC is it's basically customizable to however you want. And on top of that, I haven't even experienced one of the big things about PC that makes it so amazing, and that's the 144 hertz or higher or whatnot. I have yet to experience that. So and again, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna shoot for a 3080 build. That's what I'm gonna go for, and I figured I might as well make the investment, right? So, and it's gonna last many years, so, and I won't have to worry about upgrading anytime soon unless I really wanted to, but there's really no reason. I am fine with 1080p at 144 hertz or higher, or or 200 or some hertz for the games that are capable of running that many hertz, and getting the new monitor and all that kind of stuff. And I can't wait to share that with you. And it just makes all the sense in the world from a content creation standpoint as well as a gaming standpoint. And on top of that, you guys would get better quality footage, like clearer footage more than ever before, better streams than ever before, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm at a point to where, thank goodness, I can actually afford to pay my artist, graphic designer, to like upgrade my stuff even more. I will be getting in touch with him in due time, and and just put all the bells and whistles on. And I'm just really excited about it because, again, even though videos are one thing, streaming is something I'm just really excited about sharing my experiences with everybody else and getting to talk with you guys again, because that's one thing I definitely miss. And it's very easy to do. Just get on, you turn on the stream and you play and you talk to your friends. So that's the way it is, and that's what makes it wonderful. And then whenever you feel like making videos, you make videos. It doesn't really get any better than that. So I'm just glad and happy at this point that this is a possibility, because about 3 months ago, there was no way in hell. If you were to tell me like 3 months ago that this was a possibility, I would have said you're out of your mind. So, but anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I hope with this you're a little less intimidated by PC, and if you have the means to do so, absolutely go for it. And if you can't, totally understandable, and I get it. I've been on both sides, totally get it. So, but anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comments section, have you recently made a transition to PC? Are you still with console? Have you, like, what's your take on everything? And that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.